Hey, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon the Dirty Dream, the dirtiest of dreams. You know, so dirty that when you wake up, you just want to grab a water hose and just start pouring it all over and watch all that great. And I am here with my co-host, Laura, la cuchilladora.
Oh,
And today's episode is should we do the go and just join the Facebook page and the Discord. And then everything else is on there. Everybody, Dreamscape Chronicles, all that stuff. Is
and then
oh, my puppies, yeah, they're fine. So today's episode is on Candace Owens. What?
nothing. Go ahead.
Is on Candace Owens and the roller coaster of adventures.
Mhm.
Have you listened to much of her stuff like before all of this?
Some. It pretty much only after the whole Charlie Kirk thing, his death. Before that, the only thing that I would really like watch or anything were like the debate type of things.
She's good. You know, she's good at debates.
Yeah.
Now she'll kill you with her magic powers.
Yeah.
No, yes, it was just so bizarre because we were kind of how do we get into this topic? We were kind of like watching her do something, and
What did we?
it was over the Charlie Kirk thing. Remember, she started making accusations.
Mm-hmm. And then I found earlier the letter that she wrote to Erika Kirk.
Yeah, you want to get on that really quick?
Sure. She put this video out like literally yesterday.
Oh, it was that soon?
Yeah, the one I sent to you earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
I didn't know
one.
that was that soon. I thought it was like at least a
Mhm.
couple weeks old.
No, when I saw it, it had been up for 12 hours and it had like over 1 million views.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And so basically in this letter to Erika Kirk, she's kind of like, I can't believe, you lied to me. Charlie lied to me. All these people are lying to me. And then kind of gets into like, I'm going to expose everything. She talks about how like people have shared with her that Charlie told them, like these people are going to kill me.
Oh,
like,
shit.
yeah, I actually have a video of that. She can explain it better than I can.
I want to say one more thing rather explosively. 3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie. One who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed.
Here's a
He
question.
told these people, I think they're going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's her real hair?
I don't know. She doesn't really seem to change her hair that much. My bad. But the clips that I have are from the video about what we're going to talk about in a little bit. The whole dream thing. Yeah, so that clip was from, not the letter, but the other one. But the letter, if everyone wants to listen to it, it's pretty crazy. She talks about, a bunch of lies, and all these things. It's a lot. It's too much to cover kind of just in one video like that. She streams for hours at a time.
Damn, I remember there was like a couple days or maybe even very next day when Charlie Kirk died. Didn't she stream for like 12 hours or something?
She started very, very soon after he died. And actually in the letter, she talks about how she wasn't even one of the first ones to find out. There was a man from France that found out before anybody else did. And basically saying, Erika Kirk lied about knowing this man. And there's a deal that they had that was billions of dollars and that it went through as soon as Charlie Kirk died.
Damn, that's so dark. Even if it's not true, like I don't know, that's a dark accusation.
Yeah. And she says it very confidently, which is scary.
Yeah, because she says she has the proof, right?
Yeah. Like she says, actually, like one of the quotes that a lot of people are talking about that letter is that she's like, "You have billions, but I have the truth." And
Oh,
like,
she did say that.
ugh, yeah.
Oh, that's dark. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening like right now, like stuff that people didn't notice, like Charlie Kirk's wife, how she has the symbol of
Scars.
Saturn like on her hand.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple of things on that. Do you have that?
The what?
Her scar?
No, but I can get it really quick.
So yeah, and I was looking at some stuff online, and it very much is the symbol of Saturn. And people were saying things online, like I saw they're like, "Oh, that looks like a scar from a lighter. That looks like a smiley face." And I'm like, "What the fuck kind of bad artist is drawing?" You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's very plain. You know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's ridiculous that people are making up like. Do you think that people are those the people that don't buy into conspiracies at all so much that it's almost like, you know how they accuse people that are conspiracy theorists of like your brain has to find something that's there that isn't?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that to a skeptic, their brain tries to not make something be there that is? It's like the opposite.
Like they're like seeing things that aren't actually, or you mean like the skeptic's brain?
The skeptic will actually not see there that there's something
see it,
there,
even though it's right there.
even though it's right in front of their face. Like, what is this? And then it's like, you know, they pretend, or like their brain just doesn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So
Because
she has two scars.
yeah,
One of them, this one is on her left hand, I assume, because that's how it looks in all the pictures.
what's the one on the left?
This.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the left-hand path.
So, oh, excuse me?
When you have certain so in the cult of Saturn or Saturnalia, they believe in something. This is actually something that was brought up by Abrina Abramovich, you know, in her early studies of, you know, of mysticism in India and those kind of things, and they called it the left-hand path. So they believe that there's two paths: the right hand, which is like I'm sorry guys. So the left-hand path is basically is the path of like that it's not on a straight and narrow. It's what leads to like dark mysticism and those kind of things and dark sorcery, while the right-hand path is seen more of orthodox religion, right? You know, it's like Christianity, Judaism, those kind of things. So when somebody's like, I'm from the left-hand path, they mean that they're like venturing into like the occult, you know. So there was actually a really good book by Isaac Weishaupt. You guys should check him out. He's got his own website. It's called the Illuminati Watcher, and one of his books is the Left-Hand Path, and he talks about how there's a lot of celebrities out there that they gain power, you know, due to the left-hand path. And you know, when people say, because we had this discussion earlier, right? Mm-hmm. How come she doesn't cover it up? You know, if it is what it is, well, because it's supposed to be like out on display, you know, and people like other celebrities that are, or people in power will know what that is. And it's like, she's a member of the club, mm-hmm. You know, she's a member of the club. And then there's people that are skeptic. She can wear a shirt that says, I joined the Illuminati, and they won't see it, you know? Yeah. So it's just a weird thing. And what's dark is that in some branches of Saturnalia, which is like the sixth planet, right? And it's like the sixth symbol. I think that the symbol that she has on there, I think represents number 6.
Something like that. I have it. The only thing is that it does show Charlie Kirk's hand after death. So if nobody wants to see it, you know, like away. So you can very, very clearly see that is not just like a random scar. A
random scar, a smiley face, a vein, everything that people were talking about, right?
Especially when it's in the same, you know, area as the other one.
Mm-hmm. So damn, look at his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
He looked. It's so sad. I was gonna say something.
No, go ahead.
He looks like a Simpsons character.
Yeah.
Like it's so yellow. Like if that's a baby, they'd be like, set him in the sun. He has jaundice.
Put him in that machine.
Yeah, put him in the machine, transfer his jaundice to the bird. You know, why is your hand glowing? Anyway, so La vida no vale nada.
By the power of Grayskull. Okay.
By the power of Grayskull. Anyway, so yeah, so when you look at that stuff, and then people are like, well, you know, that is weird, but even if it was, like, what does that have to do with what Candace Owens is talking about? And I will say this, right? What I will say is that in the darker cult of Saturn, how you get in is you have to sacrifice something that you love most. You know, that's what makes it so dark. And then you look at what's going on, and you're like, oh. Yeah. And then they give you power. It's dark. So Candace Owens, you know, she believes she hasn't made it as far as the cult of Saturn, you know, but she's talking about how there was prior knowledge, right? And it was arranged.
Yeah.
And people that have known her, like friends of hers, I think Milo is the one that said that he'll text Candace, you know, like randomly. Because he's a comedian, he's touring, he's doing all kinds of things. He says that randomly, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, he'll like text her like, hey, what's up? You know, expecting her to text him 4 hours later or something, and he'll get a reply, looking at the footage of the Charlie Kirk, you know, thing, and then he's like, oh, okay. And then somebody else would say, like, you know, they can't sleep or something, and they're like, hey, I hope you're doing okay, and like, you know, what are you up to? I'm looking at the Charlie Kirk, you know, and like, it's almost like with She Lost, like, this is the one person I will say, except for his wife, right? The one person that when Charlie Kirk ended up dying, like, it hit her fucking hard. And I'm wondering if it hit her so hard that like maybe it knocked a bolt loose in her head, or maybe she's onto something.
I don't. In the letter to Erika Kirk, she talks about how she's like, you guys were so cruel to me. I don't know exactly what happened, but she's like, you guys were so cruel to me. Like, you did all these
right here.
You did all these like mean things to me and like whatever. And she's like, you did this to the one person. She says one person. I don't remember if she says like besides you or whatever. She's like, but you did this to the one person that was actually grieving your husband.
Jeez.
Because, you know, she says that for years there have been people that have been, I guess, like trying to ruin her life. And it's gone so far to where she has sent out, she calls it an insurance package of sorts. I have that clip if you want to see it.
Yeah, let's watch that.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years.
She's pretty.
Yeah. But apparently, if something happens to her, there are these people. She's like, I think she said she sent it to like 8 or 9 people, all of these things. She's like, you guys won't know where it's coming from, but it's going to be everywhere. And if something happens to me, they have kind of like, if something happens to her, they have the, kind of the go ahead to like release everything that she has.
So you know what's creepy is the fact that, remember we had this conversation where we're like, how the hell is she alive? And her fucking security team quit, and they're like, all right, well, so now. So
remember, I told you that like they most likely don't really want to do anything just because maybe they think that maybe she does have something. And this kind of, I didn't know that she had said this until just a little bit ago when I was like watching the video, that she said she sent out, all this information to be released if something happens to her, which is insane to have to do that. That's like crazy. Or to feel like you have to do that, It's scary.
Yeah, man, it's so. What's nuts is the fact that she's out there and she's saying all these things, and she said, like you said, she says it so confidently. Like,
Hmm.
what is it that she has?
Yeah.
You know, and it's man, and it's insane because she is okay. This is what got me. Okay, this is what. So remember when I was talking about like, oh, have you seen about her dreams and all these kind of things? I thought that what she was talking about was because I did the mistake of just looking at a short that somebody posted. It's like Candace Owens losing her mind, you know,
Hmm.
and it was like, and the dream with the snakes and blah 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 and all kinds of shit, and that Charlie Kirk was gonna die. Um, I thought that was post the death of Charlie Kirk, and I thought that was her, like she was talking about her dream. This video was before he finally died.
Well, I think she posted the video after he died, but the
But
dream
this
was
was
before he died. So
why?
it was a caller that listens to her podcast, and the lady or the girl, whatever it is, said that she had a dream 1 week before Charlie Kirk died. And it was something about like Charlie Kirk was like standing somewhere and he was surrounded by 6 snakes.
And then we
But
made that connection. We're like,
yeah, in the video, she says something, sea of snakes, blah, blah, blah. She keeps talking. And it's weird, But yeah, this dream that this lady had was a week before Charlie Kirk died.
that's so fucking weird. Like that. I've been trying to rationalize it. Well, maybe it's fucking weird.
I mean, you remember that one time?
Yeah, I do remember that one time. So
See,
the fact that you
yeah. So okay, so should I kind of say it?
okay, just a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, I had a dream that this dude here, but something, you got hurt.
Yeah, there was an injury.
There was an injury to a certain thing. I woke up and I was like, hey, are you okay? I messaged you. I think that was the first thing that I messaged. I just said, like, are you okay? And then you messaged back a couple hours later and you're like, oh, this and this happened. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I had a dream that something happened. And you're like, oh, shut up. And I was like, no, like, really?
Yeah.
And I was like, was it this body part, like on this side of the body? And you're like, it was. And it was. And it was weird.
And it was very weird. And what is that? Do you think that's like intuition of some kind?
I don't know. I don't know. I think when I messaged you, I think it only took you like about an hour or two to message back, being like, "Oh, this and this happened."
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if it's just coincidence or if it's like an actual thing.
It was very, very specific that it would like weirded me out. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So.
But Candace Owens says that this happens to her too.
That this happens to her, and I kind of, my dad used to do stuff like that. And it was weird.
My grandpa used to do it too. Sort of.
So here's a story. Okay,
go.
Here we go. Dude, stupid. So
back to the Salvador.
Back to the so. No, it's actually this is California. So my dad, I guess, ended up waking up one night and told my mom, I just saw the headlight of a motorcycle just like explode, and then he's like, I think your brother's dead, So my mom's like, and then she's like, why would you, whatever. And then she said, then the phone begins to ring. Ring, ring. And then she answers the phone and they told her that her youngest brother was drinking and he hopped on his motorcycle and was driving on the road, got hit by a semi. So I guess that the headlight exploding was because he hit that semi dead on. And he died. He was dead. So yeah. So it's
I don't know. Like it's too. I think there are things that are too specific to be coincidence, like the whole injury thing. It's weird. It was weird, and it it creeped me out when we were talking about it. But like things that I think are just like really specific like that, like it's too much to be a coincidence. Like the headlight thing, and then
Yeah.
it just like, like it's weird.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, your brother's dead." It's just
Yeah,
very blatantly.
I don't know what that is.
And then we get a little bit more of an insight into like her history that she disclosed. That when I heard it, I was like, "Why the fuck are you talking about this?"
Yeah.
So
So let me go into the dream really quickly.
okay,
So that
sorry.
So actually I have a video.
Oh shit!
Say it better.
Tips.
I want you guys to know something. I want to share this with you. You can take it or you can leave it, but Charlie was betrayed. I know this. I've known this really since the first second, but I rarely have vivid dreams. And I did, in fact, have a very vivid one over the weekend. In fact, the last time that I had a super vivid dream, I was pregnant. It tends to happen a lot to women when they're pregnant. But in that dream from 2023, my former producer of the show and I were standing in the control room, and she told me that she was 26 weeks pregnant. This is in the dream. And she told me exactly what month the baby was coming. I asked her in the dream, is it a boy? Is it a girl? And she said, it's a boy. I woke up and I immediately texted my producer in real life and I said, hey, you're pregnant, just so you know, it's a boy. And then she found out that she was pregnant 1 week later. She had no idea when I texted her. I similarly, like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And it was the immediate sense I got, actually. And I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed, that there is nothing and no one that is going to stop the truth from coming out, and it is going to have international consequences. Take that to the bank. Quote me on that.
Take that to the bank and cash it, bitch. What's interesting is that from Charlie Kirk's team, from his, I can't remember the name of his organization.
Turning Point.
Turning Point. There you go. What the hell? Anyways, from Turning Point, how come no one is on fire like she is? No one's really saying anything. A lot of people are.
There's one girl, and she got fired.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There was one girl. Yeah, she not as much, obviously, but she was saying that she was kind of like questioning, I guess, the narrative that they were going with, the Turning Point.
Wow,
and they fired her. So the reason that they fired her was somebody got in an Uber. Some person that worked at Turning Point got in an Uber, and the Uber driver was like, oh, it sucks the way, this Turning Point thing is going down or whatever. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh yeah, how like everything's kind of just like starting to suck and nobody likes Erika and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what are you talking? Like, who said that? And he's like, oh, my daughter is really good friends with somebody that works here. And they're like, oh, okay, what's her name? The girl that works here.
Yeah.
They gave her name. I don't know if it was the next day or like within a couple days. They called her into the office and they told her about it. And then kind of just like, yeah, you're fired.
Whoa.
Yeah. And she's like, she said, you can't question the narrative and work at Turning Point at the same time. Like,
what's crazy is that's like very specifically what Charlie Kirk was fighting for, is your freedom to talk, your freedom to voice your opinion. There should be no, and then they just immediately they acted just like the people that he would debate.
That's what she said. She's like, like you can't question the narrative. And that's exactly what Charlie, like, didn't want. Like, that's what he stood, I guess, like against or whatever, was that like, you can't speak your mind. or whatever. Like he wanted people to talk about things or question things, you know, and she did, and they fired
And they
her.
got rid of her. They're like, get the fuck out of here. Also,
Mhm.
another thing is with the back to the Saturn thing, because it's really weird. How remember how we were talking about, you know, about the six, you know,
Mhm.
what was the dream that there was like six snakes or something?
6 snakes, yeah.
Six snakes, and in the order of Thelema and the order of Saturnalia, there's like six people like per group of like, and you know, people are like, well, Charlie Kirk and his team, that makes five, right?
Mhm.
But Erika Kirk was also like directing, and she was like, but she wasn't an official member, you know.
According to what I have read, right before he was killed, she was not officially a part of the, like, board, I guess.
Yeah, but
From what I've
and
read. It could have been,
yeah,
I don't
and that's what some people were saying. They were saying like, well, she's behaving as if she is. She was calling for fundraisers. You know, she was saying, no, we won't do this, but we're gonna do that. Like instead of going here, we're gonna do that. As if she was a board member. So I'm like, what's crazy is that like with her, that'd be number six. You know,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
I think a lot of people just kind of, they don't like that as soon as he died, they kinda just moved on, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it was like, oh, like, as soon as he died, like, we're appointing Erica to be, you know, whatever, she's gonna take over, and it was just like if it never even happened. Um, and a lot of people talk about that, like, she went on with this, like, book release, and, like, she did all these things in the, like, next, you know, in the couple weeks after he died, like, they were doing all these events and stuff. I think she even called his memorial an event.
really?
Yeah.
Why would
It was
she
like his it
die?
was like his memorial or his funeral or something like that. She called it an event, and people thought it was weird.
That's very weird. Why would you do
Mhm.
that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she was saying it as like a, you know, this whole event that happened, but like that's your husband that died.
Yeah, the fact.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't completely agree. Like I don't I don't know. There's a lot of people that are like she did it, you know, and like I can't say that, you know.
No, you can't say that.
Um
But a lot of things are weird. You can say that things are
there's
a
a
little
lot
bit
of weird things.
weird,
Yeah.
very convenient in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
like on her end. So yeah, it's fuck. It's so weird. Also, um, with Charlie, how he protected people. Remember, I told you that he was Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Because for those of you that don't know, um, when Rome, you know, was being overthrown by the barbarians and there was so much like infighting, Caesar was fleeing the city, you know, with his family, and he realized that his companions, that his friends were not along the caravan, so he's like, they're stuck in a city. So Caesar runs back into the city, tells his family go, and he basically finds them and he like brings them into this place and he barricades the door with them inside, and he's like, you guys will be safe here. And the moment that he barricaded the door, they all proceeded to stab him, you know. And and it says, and I love this quote, it's dark, but this
Yeah.
is the moment that he turned the lock, the moment that he twisted the lock, they twisted the blades. You know, that's how he died. His fucking friends killed him. You know,
Yeah.
him trying to protect them. So with man, it's fucking dark, and then we can talk about this for hours. So we're just gonna move on.
Yeah.
You know. So all right, move on. The mystical Candace Owens.
This part freaks me out a little bit. A little bit.
A little bit.
The
All
stuff that
right,
she talks about, you know?
just say
Um,
it. She said it, not us.
it's all I don't know anything about this. It's all her words. According to her in this, you know, letter, video letter that she wrote to Erica, she's like, Charlie was gifted, and like you
Yeah,
know that he was gifted. The government knew he was gifted, and she's like, you know, he had to go to these special schools and take
yeah.
these special tests. And she
I'm
talks about
looking.
how she, what?
I said I'm looking at Operation Stargate.
Oh, she talks about how she also had to, go to these things and take these tests.
So during you guys can look this up just so you guys know, these were declassified. For the longest time, these were considered a conspiracy. So now you guys can actually go and then, get the classified form by the DIA, Operation Stargate, Stargate Project. So it basically talks about, it's a project that ran from the 1960s all the way up to 1995. And they were trying to see if people can do remote viewing. They would give them altering drinks to kind of open up their third eye. They would ask them questions, and then they would find gifted children. And some of the way that they would find kids is they would go to a classroom like regular school, and then they would just like send like certain messages and kind of see if one of the kids, if who would pick it up. One of the stories is that they would go into a classroom and somebody would think of something like, say, hey, like really loud in their head, and they would kind of see like which kids would kind of look up, and when they found a couple of groups, they would just write it down. They would write it down. So they wrote it down, and then they would bring the kids in. These are the kids, this is the kids, and then they were like, we're going to do a special project, and then they would bring them in, and they would begin to basically try to weaponize the kids. Like, there's actually a really good movie out there that is based on a book that's based on real events, based on Stargate, and it's called The Men Who Stare at Goats, and they were trying to form like psychic soldiers. So people laugh like, how this is funny. This actually happened. The United States poured billions of dollars into this. So with these special classrooms, these special trained people that would come in.
And they still do have gifted and talented programs, like elementary schools, high schools, middle schools. I don't think it's like the same thing, obviously.
I think it is, but they're not as open about it anymore like they used to. They used to say, can you crack this glass cup? Focus really hard, drink your little serum, and then try it. Supposedly, some kids were able to do it. Okay, somebody's in the next room. Who is it? And then the kids would all just like focus, and they would say out loud and like come out from behind the door, and it's like, it is him. Congratulations, kids, you guys all get cupcakes. Then they would put electrodes on your head. Like, all right, try to send it. What's crazy is that these things were seen, like I said, as just a conspiracy, a crazy story, and it originally got out from a person that was homeless. He was like, I'm a gifted. I was part of this program. People are like, this fucking person is insane. And then want to hear the story that he told?
Go for it.
He told the story that when he was part of this program, this was a homeless guy, by the way. When he was part of this program, he was telling people, they make us do weird things. They make us do. And then one day he says that he heard somebody in the next room, like, they called him into this room and they're like, sit here, just wait, we'll be right back. And he overheard them say, I want you guys to wipe his memory, make him a homeless person in Detroit, And then he said that after that, that's the last thing he remembers before he woke up in the streets without any knowledge. What?
He remembered?
He remembered that part. Right, he remembered little bits and pieces, not enough to like, let me put my memory back together. Let me find out where my life was. And he says he remembers having a family, just doesn't remember who they are, where they're at. The last thing he remembers is make him a homeless person and release him into Detroit. He woke up in a street, and when he tried to look for people, they're like, no, there's no record of you. What's your name? He's like, I think it's whatever. He gave a name, didn't remember his last name. He was seen as insane, and he was telling all these stories, these fantastic stories. I remember a classroom. I remember this. I remember that. And then people are like, this sounds very familiar. And then many years later, they started coming out with like a conspiracy. Did you know that there's this project? It's called Project Stargate, and trying to basically the same thing that this guy was saying. I don't know what ended up happening with this guy. And then it was a conspiracy. Did you know that crazy conspiracy people, until it became official and they released the documents that all these things were real. And then you have, this project supposedly died. in the early 80s. Killed a project that's no longer done, but they still continued, only they called it something different. And then you have Candace Owens talking about exactly what you can find in these government documents. And by mentioning these kind of things, when I heard it, I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Like
You
this,
literally were like, she needs to shut up.
she needs to shut the fuck up
Mhm.
because this is insane. Play tips.
Charlie and I spoke a lot about his third eye. That's why that sentence caught my attention in the article. He spoke about the street lamps that would go off when he would run, about the special school that he had to go to. We spoke about a lot of the things that were strange in our childhood, the testing that both of us had to endure. We spoke about the fact that we could both astral project. You know all of this, of course. You have his phone. And how surprised we were when we learned that not everybody does that naturally. Sleep paralysis, you name it. We had conversations about it.
So
do you think that's where like the whole like dream? Do you think like the dream thing has something to do with it too?
I think so. I think there's something. Some people, man, and this is where my skepticism kind of begins to like come in, you know.
Yeah.
But it almost like it's in a wrestling match with, you know, and these kind of people have been known to be dream walkers, astral projectors, people that
she said that her and Charlie Kirk would talk about how they would astral project.
You know what's crazy? What? I can astral project.
I think you're lying. Just kidding. Okay.
So my dad's always talked about that. Like, oh yeah, you know, like it's normal shit. I can do it, you can do it too. I'm like, what are you talking about?
When it comes to I mean, he said that he predicted somebody was gonna die with a dream. Why wouldn't he be able to, you know?
Not just that. Let me tell you something crazy.
Okay, go.
So supposedly,
have I not heard this before?
I don't know. So my uncle, my mom's brother, and then some of his friends, my dad was just talking, and the reason why this conversation got brought up is because this guy was saying like, oh, I have these books on witchcraft, and then my dad's like, oh, you know, and it's like, you need to get rid of that or don't ever come near me ever again. So my dad, they got into this conversation, and he's like, no, there's all these things, and my dad basically ended up saying like that he could astral project, and that he could, and they were kind of explaining to them like what it was, like what is it, and he's like, it's this. And then they're like, you know, and then my dad said, I'll prove it to you. So these are 5 people, right? That I've heard this story. I've heard it from, I asked my dad, like, is this true? And he goes, yeah. ¿Y qué pasó? Digo, no importa. It doesn't matter. You know, but everybody's like, this is what happened. So apparently he lay down in the bed, and they said that he was just breathing in deep. And then he said, I'm gonna turn on this switch, and then I'm gonna turn off that light. And it wasn't like now it's a touch. You touch it. It used to be like a heavy click, like it was a heavy button.
Yeah.
So then he says that all of a sudden he just goes, and then they're like, okay, and all of a sudden, click, this heavy fan just starts going, and then the light just turns off, plink, and then turns back on, plink, and then now he just like takes a deep breath, and then he like sits up, and then they're like, what the fuck just happened? You know?
Yeah.
And one of them was so the motherfucker was shook, you know, that apparently he went to the Catholic Church and told the priest, you know what happened? He's like, you got to do these hands, because it freaked him out to that point. And then I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. So astral projection, dream walking, all these things are things that certain people have abilities to do, but they're very how would you say, they're very, very rare. And the government was very interested in these kind of things, these people that have these abilities, because imagine somebody that has these type of abilities, they can tell you like where you can go, what's over here, this person's here. So that's why they developed these programs. So they were taking very gifted children and like training them up to do these things. What's surprising is the fact that Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk was saying, and these are things that if you're a member of these type of programs, like you don't say that, because you're basically giving away like classified information. So the fact that she was saying these things, it really shocked me, and I was like, she needs to shut up.
She did
Like,
say that it was when they were, when they were kids, when they were young or whatever. I don't know if it makes a difference, but like, it's still, like just don't say anything.
just don't say anything. You know what happens to these subjects, by the way?
I assume that I know what happens to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These people that were, they ended up they openly would have facilities where they would train people how to do this. They open up their own practices, they open up all these things, and these people slowly started disappearing. Robbery gone wrong, shot in the face, died in their sleep, and then they found out that their heart basically exploded, and they found, the toxicologist is like, this person has a lot of poison in his system.
What's crazy though is that it happens everywhere. Like the dream thing. Like it's not just, here. Like there was a case, it was like a murder or something, like in Scotland. And some man had a dream that he saw, or he had a vision or something, that he saw he saw like inside of the murderer's house, and that a voice was telling him where there were like some belongings of the guy that was killed.
Yeah.
And the police were just like, all right, well, we'll go look, I guess. They went, they looked, and they found these things, and they were able to arrest the man, that lived there, because he had killed that other guy. And it was because he had these like visions, or this dream that, it was there. And it was.
And these people, like, when they catch somebody, a lot of them are like pretty humble, like, well, I'm glad I could help. If I could help solve like a murder like that, I'd probably go. How would I go? Go ahead.
Never shut up.
Go ahead.
Every intro would start like that.
You know how every intro would start?
How it go?
It would go, I'm the best.
Yeah. Well, you will already do that every day.
I do. That's how I wake up. That's how I wake up in the morning. I'm the best.
Yeah, wake everybody up.
You wake everybody up. Start trying to explode those things.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple cases like that, which I think are weird. There was another one. This man had, this is more, I guess, like kind of like what your dad did. He had a dream 6 days before he was killed.
Shit.
He had a
Did
dream.
He tell people?
I think so, because somebody knew about it.
That's a really stupid question.
He had a dream that he was attacked by one of his like coworkers, or like former coworker or something like that. And then he died. And the person was like, hey, he told me, that he had this dream that this guy had killed him. And they actually went and they found out, who the dude was. And they arrested him.
Oh, shit.
For his killing, which is crazy. But I don't know. Happens, I guess. I wouldn't know. Doesn't happen to me. I don't do that.
Yeah, well, you don't do that. But
no.
It's just so like, how many of these people are ridiculed?
Candace Owens said, like, "Ooh, she had a dream. She had and she's like, yeah, I did, and I believe it."
Yeah, that to me was like a power bitch move, when she says like, well, you don't have to believe it, I believe it, and then that's it. And I was like, okay, and that really ends the conversation. That's what I believe. If you can believe it if you want, who cares? I believe it. It's so dark, man.
What's because that's kind of the way everything should be, because like, who cares if somebody else doesn't believe it?
Yeah, and it's man, it's dark. I was never expecting this from Candace Owens, because you've seen her. You see her, and then you see like the Candace Owens from the debates, the Candace Owens from like her doing public speaking, and from her public speeches and all this kind of stuff, and her debating, her just talking, and then now all of a sudden there's mysticism involved.
She said that her and Charlie Kirk would talk about their third eye all the time.
And that's not the eye that you guys think.
Not that one.
Not that one.
I don't think they talked about that one, probably.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah, you heard? Did you hear that guy Milo? He was talking about. He thinks that Charlie Kirk was gay.
Oh my god, that guy
Because
is insane.
and he said because of his playlist, he says, "What kind of straight man is listening to Nicki Minaj?"
Nicki Minaj.
And Lord, this
As
is not.
soon as Charlie Kirk died, he started like tweeting, and he's like, "I'm back." Like, you guys
Yeah,
got rid of him, or however he
yeah.
said it. He's like, "Now you get me."
He says, "Now you get me, and now you get me." What kind
Yeah,
of straight man listens to this? You know. And he was
ridiculous.
a motherfucker back in the day.
Yeah.
He'd go into the campuses and just fucking talk so much shit.
Mhm.
Not even like Charlie Kirk style, where he's like, "Well, let's hear your opinion." He was,
No, he was
he's
like borderline like disrespectful. He was
yeah.
rude.
Should I say one of the things that he said?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, this girl, this girl goes up. Imagine her. She's got the septum piercing. She's
Oh,
got the blue hair with the shaved sides. You
mhm.
know, she looks like she's never eaten a salad in her life. You know,
Typical. Yep.
and she's wearing like a dark gothic sweater that looks like the threads just holding on for dear life. You know, and she talks about how so fucking dark. So she said, "I am a victim of R, right?"
Hmm. Of
She says,
grape.
"Yeah, I'm a victim of grape." And then Milo looks at her. He says, "I'm gonna tell you this, but how come the victims of grape are the most unfuckable women?" And it's like, what the
It's so rude. He's so rude.
He says, it's always the victims of grape are always the most unfuckable women. You know, it's like, why would you say that to somebody?
So mean.
And he's saying this while he's holding a latte and like a fur coat. It's fucking weird. It's hot out, you know.
He's wearing like a boa. Like he was
It's
always so dramatic on the stage.
you
Insane.
know, and somebody came forward and then they're like, you know, "I'm pro-abortion." He's like, "Oh, I only wish that your mother was," you know. And I was like, "Jeez, Louise."
There's so many like videos that just have like little, clips of him saying all his little zingers.
Those little
Uh,
zingers. And he says, "Why couldn't your mother just vomit you all over your dad's shoes?" You know.
Louise.
um. So yeah, it's dark. Anyway, so this guy, you know, he's a defender of Candace because they're friends now, and he says they used to be against each other. He says, but then, you know, something happened. She said something, and then something clicked. You know what she said, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And I guess that she said something that got him thinking, and he's like, "Damn, I guess I never thought about that." So then he's like, "Tell me more," you know. So they're having these conversations, and he says, "This is somebody. She's looking into this case. There's different angles. She's always looking into this." You know, whenever he tries to contact her, she's always looking into this case. And he talks about how she's more outspoken about Charlie Kirk's death than his own wife, and she looked more heartbroken. And because she was the one that after the whole assassination happened, the murder, um, she was the one out there. She was crying and she was speaking out about her friend and all these kind of things. And then you watch the people that were his friends, right? That call themselves like Ben Shapiro. He's like, and me and him go way back all the time, you know, and he's going on. And he did tell a story that kind of was like, damn, you know, because he was like, "You're too soft on your people. You're too soft on the people that you're debating." And then he's like, "I'm not trying to win an argument." He says, "I care about them," you know. And then he kind of like, he's like, "Really, really," you know. And it kind of like, it never like, I guess, occurred to him, like, you know, Ben Shapiro was like, "You're not trying to win arguments." He says, "You're too nice to these people." And then he was like, a very young Charlie Kirk. He was like, "Well, no, I'm not trying to win an argument. I care about them."
Well, like, did he ever watch a debate? I feel like the majority of people that are like, he just spewed a bunch of hateful things, never actually watched one of the
Never
debates,
watched it. It's just
because you can tell 100% who is just trying to like be rude and be, like push their beliefs on people, and he was not doing that.
should have vomited you all over your dad's shoes.
There was a big difference.
Yeah, no, a giant difference. So I mean, just like his whole speech, like, "I care about you. You matter. You know, you matter to me." You know, and the
There was
person's
this
like,
one. there was this one thing, and it reminded me when you said, I don't remember what you said, but Erika Kirk told in a TV interview, she told them, they told me what happened. I flew straight there and went straight to the hospital. Like I landed and went straight to the hospital. And then Candace Owens was like, "You're lying."
I
Because,
saw that.
yeah, she's like, "You're lying because," what was the guy's name? Andrew or something?
Yeah.
She's like, "Andrew said that he got there. You guys hugged on the tarmac. He cried, whatever. And she's like, and I asked you," she's talking to Erika, "what plane you were on and what plane he was on." And apparently Erika Kirk had to have been waiting at the airport or on the tarmac for an hour until that other guy got there. So like that guy arrived 1 hour after she did.
Before?
After. So Erika Kirk got there.
Oh.
And then the guy got there 1 hour after. And he had told Candace Owens, "We hugged on the tarmac." And Erika Kirk said, "I went straight to the hospital when I landed."
That's dark.
Yeah. So she's like, "I have proof that you weren't where you said you were. So like, what happened that day?"
That is fucking weird because that's another thing that's so weird because people are like, well, she's just talking shit. She has text messages and she has emails. She can place people where they say they were because this is coming like from their own texts. Like when so-and-so is like, she said that I was here, but actually I was here. And then she shows a text message and he's like, "Where are you?" "I'm over here." Like what she said,
and
with the dates.
She even says, like, she has the other half of Charlie Kirk's text messages, like Erika Kirk has Charlie Kirk's phone, obviously, but Candace Owens has, all the texts. And she's like, "You didn't lose those text messages. Like you have them because you have his phone. Like, you have the text of something. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, apparently Erika Kirk's been kind of weird with information recently and kind of, twisting truth, I guess. I don't know.
She thinks she can get away with it because she's hot. No, it's weird because if you look at what Candace Owens is talking about, she's talking about a very, very dark cabal and a very dark conspiracy to get this guy out of the way so they can all, line their pockets.
Yeah.
And what sucks is that what she's saying, and if you really pay attention to what she's talking about, it lines up and it makes sense. You know what I mean? And fuck. I
don't know what she has.
I don't know what she has either. And there's a reason why they haven't whacked her. And I'm like, how the fuck is she not?
Yeah. But she was the craziest part of the whole thing is I don't know how she's still able to be like doing this.
And I wondered that, but then what did she say? She has insurance policies, right? The moment that if she gets murdered or she commits suicide, and she didn't even mention who. So that's the thing is they can't even go after these people.
Nope.
They can't. They don't know
2 names, but I don't think she meant it like that. She's like, it can be anybody from this person to Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And you won't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, you won't know who it is because she had like such a wide connection. So they're probably like, fuck, like we don't know who it is. We're gonna have to start whacking people, like out of a maybe.
We don't have anything.
They don't have any. So I think that's like where she was smart. She planned this whole fucking thing out. Yeah, I don't have anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't have anything. Leave us alone.
Maybe I do.
No, you don't.
I'm the best. What a dark conspiracy, and it may not be a conspiracy because she's got the evidence.
It could go on for hours.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it, guys. So be sure to check out Loop by Lottie. Type in the promo code I'm the best. I'm just kidding. Type in the promo code Nightmare, and you guys get 15% off any order above $30. Also by friends of the show like Sean Burris and the Shadow Nation. Groceries and Ghosts. Check out that man, Sean Burris. For those that say he doesn't talk like that, you haven't watched the early shows. That's exactly how he talks.
Well, that's because they don't know him like you do.
Yeah, they don't know you like I do. I know you should.
What?
I said they don't know you like I know you, Sean. Come back to me. Also brought to you by Static Voices with Paranormal Unveiled, Nate, and remember to read his book, Downloading the Paranormal Conspiracies and How I Can Unlock Your Third Eye.
Not that one.
Not that you don't know. Also brought to you by Dreamscape Chronicles.
Mhm.
Are you okay?
Yep.
Dreamscape Chronicles. Check them out on Spotify. Great people, interesting stuff. I don't know if they're gonna make a move right now or what they're doing, but just in case, check them out on Spotify. You know, also by Render the Darkness with Kaser and Fallon. Check out two crazy chicas who love the paranormal and true crime. So go ahead and check them out. Like and subscribe. Find them on YouTube. They're great people. Also by T Public. Get a mug. You don't have one, so whatever.
Pretend it's here.
Oh wow! Look at that. It's got your face on it. Wow.
Oh.
The greatest. It's the greatest mug I've ever seen. Somebody said, "Wow, look at that great mug." So yeah, go ahead, check them out. I'm gonna be releasing some new stuff. I know I've been saying that, but I will. I might do it.
You need to do what I said about that one that I told you.
Oh, okay. But that other thing, I'm like, all right. So T Public. So check them out, do all that stuff, and that's it. And remember, guys, to always look both ways, especially if your third eye is in your pants.
Oh.